Ali Cassidy. Come on up, Ali.
So I'll say that I have always really believed in the scientific method. In fact, I'll tell you that even before the age of 5, I was making scientific observations of what was going on around me. I grew up in New York City, and while walking through Central Park at the age of 4, something splatted on my head, and I went up there and looked at it. It's black and white. So my theory is it's skunk poop. Right? It's black and white. There's a skunk up there, he pooped on my head. Great theory. The second observation was I was a real extroverted little kid, and I loved to talk to anybody and everybody. So apparently I walked up to this homeless guy on a bench and sat next to him right away and started chatting him up. And I'm looking at his wrist, and his wrist has a lot of hair on it. And so I'm chatting to him, and I said, you know, your wrist has a lot of little curly hairs on it. Did you know that my mommy has hair like that on her wee-wee? And right then, my mom was coming up to get me. She heard the whole thing. She was totally fine with it. She was totally chill, smiled pleasantly, and removed me from the scene. But the thing was that it was a scientific observation. It was a fact. So she could not really get mad at me for that. What's there to get mad about? Generally, you know, I was an only child, so my parents were really quite interested in my little theories about things and the little things I observed and thought, you know, to chat about and stuff. So there was no need to get mad. They really generally were quite interested in my little ideas. So I was lucky that way. Anyway, one day, Mom had to take me to the babysitter's apartment. And usually this babysitter, who was about 12 or 13, kind of a nondescript girl, would come to our apartment to babysit. But this time, I had to go to her apartment. And I really didn't like this babysitter very much. She was kind of mean. She was mean, and I think a few times she would try to trick me. Like once she taught me the F word. And she made me rehearse it and say it again and again. And she taught it to me real good. And later on, I used that to make inroads into better understanding language, which also was heard by one of my parents who nearly keeled over when I said, "Daddy, do you know what my favorite word is?" All 6'7" of them nearly hit the deck. But again, you know, no problem. So who taught you that? And, you know, it was an honest mistake, so it was okay. Anyway, what I did notice at this babysitter's house was that it was very different. It was a big family. There were lots of kids in this house. The kids really ruled the roost. There didn't seem to be a whole lot of adult supervision in the household. But I think, you know, the mom was there, but you never saw her really. And I was also the youngest. And basically, they were not paying any attention to me. I mean, can you believe that? Nothing. So, you know, okay, that's fine. You know, I'm an only child. I'm used to amusing myself and entertaining myself. That was okay. And then I saw it. It was a little clock sitting in a cut glass candy dish on a table in the living room. Now, this is something for scientific inquiry. I'm looking at it, really checking it out. It has two little brackets on the side, like what you would see, a toilet roll holder kind of thing on the side. And I'm looking at it, I'm starting to develop my theory. And I said, I propose that this is a wristwatch without the straps. But what is it doing in a candy dish? Where are the straps? This was another area to really think about and to inquire. My interest was sparked immediately. I mean, what happened? What happened to this little, why would it be in the, it was very, very unusual. So I started to, ask around. I went to the babysitter. What is this? And would you believe it? She just looked at me, stone-faced, and did not answer my question. Can you believe that? She was just like a blank. So I thought, okay, I'm going to try my luck elsewhere. I went to one of the other kids. Hey, what's this? Again, nothing. No response. I'm thinking, what is going on here? Are these kids like gaslighting me or something? Like, what is happening? So I figured I better try to find an adult. So I go to the kitchen. The mom is there. Previous experiments had shown that using the word please was very important for adults. So I said, please, will you tell me what this is? And she just shooed me out of the kitchen. She was busy. So I was completely flabbergasted. I mean, nobody was interested in my scientific inquiries, or I could not comprehend how this was happening. I was, first puzzled, and then I got really angry. I couldn't believe it. So really, there was only one course of action left for me, which was I took the watch, put it in my pocket. Now, basically I was, for the sake of science, I was willing to go right up to the ethical boundary, like other scientists before me, like Frankenstein or whoever. So I put that watch in my pocket and, got home and immediately brought it out and showed it to my mom. And I said, Mom, what is this? And she said, well, it looks like a wristwatch with the straps off it. And I'm like, finally, a decent peer review. But then she told me another scientific fact that I had to deal with, which was, we do not take things that do not belong to us. So, much to my horror, I had to go back to the babysitter's house with my mom and return the watch. And I really don't remember how they responded to my, returning it. My sense was that they did not deserve to have that item in their house because they didn't appreciate it. They didn't even know what it was, or they wouldn't tell me what it was. But anyway, I had to give it back to them. So, did it prove my theory? Yes. Did I learn my lesson? Yes. That I apparently am not the center of the universe. Thank you.
How can someone not be the center of the universe? I mean, come on, really. Thank you, Ali. Okay, Ali has spent the last 18 years as a mental health therapist and manager at the Prescott VA. She retired last Friday? This Friday. So now she's looking for things to do. So if anybody has something, just glue, Velcro and glue the house down before you invite her over. Let's see. This capped off a wonderful career in public service, helping people with chronic mental illness. As a military spouse, she and her husband, Gary, have lived in several places, coming to Prescott in 2002. In Ali's downtime, she plays her flute. She also enjoys hiking, traveling, and learning new things. And she's looking forward to supporting the arts here in Prescott, of which she's doing this. Thank you, Ali.